Tech, taking on Cedeno, the number 5 seed from Virginia. Cedeno qualified for last year's NCAAs, comes in at 10-7. Crook, a freshman out of Tampa, Florida, for Virginia Tech, with, according to Coach Roby, tremendous promise. You know, Virginia Tech, like NC State, they just reload every year.
Yeah, they do. They've done a tremendous job over at Virginia Tech, and I think Roby did a great job with the transition. You know, after Kevin Dresser leaving to Iowa State and Roby stepping into that role, I think he's done a really, really good job maintaining the success of the program and helping elevate it.
First offense coming from Cedeno.
He's doing a good job. He's got to move him a little bit more here, kind of get him off balance. But Crook is doing a really good job keeping control of that wrist. And you notice how he's hopping. He's doing a good job. Every time you hop, you're just kind of trying to maintain your balance. Now he's looking for a whizzer here. If he can get his weight forward and get Cedeno down to his hands, it's going to be really, really difficult.
141, a great weight class in the ACC. They have 4 NCAA qualifiers, including last year's ACC champion, who awaits the winner of this one. Talking about Cole Matthews out of Pitt.
Really good defense here by Crook. That was phenomenal defense. Typically in those positions, your chances of finishing with the leg up in the air are incredibly high, and a majority of the times that should be a takedown. But what Crook did was he did a really, really good job keeping his right leg heavy. He did a really, really good job maintaining control of the wrist, threatening that whizzer when the opportunity presented itself, digging that right arm in deep so that way he can continue to defend. And eventually, you keep that leg up in the air long enough, you start to get a little tired. And that's, I think, what you started to see from Cedeno on that single leg finish attempt. You work so hard to work him down to the takedown, and you're not getting anything. Your low back starts to get real tired. Your arms start to get real tired. And you're like, let me let go and hopefully get another attempt before I burn myself out here all in the first exchange.
The wisdom of the Mike Macchiavello, the 2018 national champ. And as you mentioned, I don't mean to bring up tough times, but not winning the ACC title, did that ever affect you in any way at all, Mock?
You know, it was definitely something I wish I would have been able to accomplish, but it's not something I think about a whole lot now.
You got that natty, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, and honestly, that's all I saw the ACC tournament. I just saw it as an opportunity to help me figure out what I needed to be doing. I looked at it as an opportunity to figure out what holes in the ship are there so that way I can plug them for the real trip that matters at the NCAA tournament. And it's just all a learning opportunity until March. That's the way I see it. Doesn't matter what part of the season it is. Everything's just learning until March.
And off of that, Mike, now a member of the U.S. national team. Trains in Raleigh and then also is in Colorado Springs. As we see the top wrestlers at 141, reminding you that 4 AQs at 141. Matthews, Ryan Jack out of NC State, McNeil from North Carolina, and Crook, who we're seeing here in this matchup on mat 1. It's our coverage of the 2023 ACC Wrestling Championships from Reynolds Coliseum.
So if you notice, Crook right off the whistle brings that right elbow straight back to his hip. And that's kind of what I would have liked to see earlier from the first 2 matches. You want to isolate and seal off so that way you prevent your opponent from being able to get underneath. Let's see if he does it again here. Yep, he's looking for the wrist control. That left hand is back. Cedeno dropped it down to a leg, though, which is really, really good decision there. Especially if you feel like you're losing the ride. Sometimes it's just easier to drop down to a leg, restart.
Still at zeros.
Good match so far by these two. Let's see if we see them seal off this time. Yep, elbow straight back, looking for the wrist control. But what's interesting is Cedeno has started on the opposite side of the body the last 2 times than he did from the first time. And I think it's made a difference.
And still waiting for points. Didn't get there, did he?
really trying to secure that riding time point. He's got 15 seconds left before he gets the riding time point.
There's the first point.
Gets the escape with 48 seconds left of riding time. Controlling the wrist there. Cedeno doing a good job rolling it down. He's got to circle back to the inside, though, because if Crook starts getting active offensively there, well, spoke too soon. Cedeno's the one getting active on the edge. But if I was Crook, I'd use the edge strategically. I'd try and be active. I would try and be offensive, try and shoot him out of bounds, hopefully maybe potentially get a stall call that might pay dividends later on in the third period. But if I'm Cedeno, I need to circle back to the center of the mat. I never want to be sitting and wrestling on the edge. It looks passive, especially if you're not taking shot attempts. But like we saw earlier, Cedeno actually is creating offense on the edge.
4 AQs at 141, 4 at 197, and 5 at 184. Those are the 3 toughest weight classes in the ACC.
Nice little fake there. Looked like he probably could have taken that attempt if he wanted. Nice post there by Crook. Ends up sliding down to the legs to secure takedown. Sits him right to his butt. Right at the end of the period, too. That's a really, really big deal. Especially because your opponent doesn't get an attempt or an opportunity to escape. And that makes a big deal in terms of point differential, right? So takes him down, he gets escaped right at the end of the period, then he scores 3-1 instead of 3-0. And that lead's going to make a big difference.
It's 3-0 Crook. Mark, I call this a wrestling mecca, and you obviously have been here the entire time. The knowledge of the fan base for NC State is phenomenal in the wrestling world, in my opinion.
Man, they have bought in, let me tell you. We had fans tailgating out there, you know, and I love to see that. You know, hopefully where you start, the program is starting to get to a place where you start to see a culture of fans really kind of create a community around the brand of NC State wrestling, and it's special to see. And that's why we have so many fans here today. And I think we're in the first round of competition today, and I think later on this evening you'll see even more fans.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to do the Babe Ruth shot and call that they're going to break the record. I mean, that's the feel. There's only a couple tickets left available. They think they're going to sell out. And this evening, it's a beautiful day, but this evening will be a great day to be here. And I think the new record will be 3,084. And to know that we were here for it be pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now, if you're Cedeno, how do you get back into this? You're down 3-0.
Well, first, you got to escape. You got to get off bottom. That's honestly one of the positions that I feel like is one of the toughest to transition to from high school. I think most of the time across the board, across all Division I programs, freshmen have a tough time typically transitioning in hand fighting and on bottom. And they struggle to get off the mat. Now, it's one of the most important positions because at the end of each period, really, really good job by Cedeno looking for his reversal. Let's see what he tries to do. He's got a leg tuck with his arm. 2 points, 1 escape awarded. But as I was saying, bottom wrestling is one of the toughest transitions for high school wrestlers to college. And in my personal opinion, if you can get off of bottom and you can score on your feet, you can win a national championship without being the best on top.
Okay.
But if you cannot get off of bottom, good luck. Right. It is vital. It's vital that you're able to escape. It's vital that you're able to get out when you need to, because it's critical. And it makes a huge difference in big matches. It makes a huge difference in big tournaments. Think about it this way. The score finished 4-2. Cedeno got a reversal. If he would have gotten a reversal sooner, that gives him more time to work on his feet. That gives him more time to create offense. That gives him more time to have more shot attempts to potentially get a score. to tie the match up 4-4 and send it to overtime. But the more time he spends on bottom, and the less time he spends on his feet, the less time he gets to work. The less opportunities he has to put himself back in the match.
Well said. The win will go to Crook, who will earn a date with Cole Matthews. Last year